Missouri doing to keep you guys on the field? More did it have to do more with what they were doing, or more with how you guys were going up against them?
No, I think it's a combination of both. I think they did a nice job executing, and I don't think we did a good job of executing the details of certain calls, techniques. I could have called some better calls there, and so I think it was a combination of both. But again, nothing to take away from them. They were a good football team. They came out, they were ready. And we had plenty of opportunities to get off the field, and we didn't take advantage of that. And we've got to be better. On third down, they want to go for it on fourth down. It gives us a chance to basically create a turnover. We've got to execute. And, to only go 1 of 5 on fourth down isn't good enough.
John Hale?
Brad, you all had been pretty good on third down entering that game, and then you still made the big stops in the red zone, holding them to field goals, the one fourth down stop. How did those things work to where you could struggle so much on third down but still make those big stops in some key moments too?
Well, I think the one thing that we did not play our best football by any means. Again, we obviously struggled there on third down, but what I was proud of is the guys, as the game went along, they never backed down. And I'll be honest, I've never been a part of a 21-play drive, that went for almost 9 minutes and resulted in no points. So that's all the credit to them. That has nothing to do with play call. That's got everything to do with rising up in the moment, gutting it out. They were tired. But again, we had chances throughout that drive. We had chances throughout the first half and then into the second half to just get off the field early. I mean, we could have made that almost a 3-and-out on that first drive of the second half, and we didn't. And we just kept letting them extend it over and over. And so that's where we've got to get better. Like you said, coming in, we had been really solid, especially on that third and long at 7 to 10 down in distance. On the season up to that point, we'd only allowed 2, and then to allow 5 different opportunities on Saturday, just not good enough.
Nick Roush?
Do you have any expectation on when you'll have Quentin back, and how did Marquand play in his absence?
He's done, as far as Quentin, no on the timetable. But as far as Marquand, did some really nice things in the game, played physical, some things we need to clean up, in terms of, playing through our keys and our eyes. But overall, I really liked his effort, throughout the game. Gave us a lot of good quality snaps, and we're going to need it again this week.
Derek Terry?
Brad, new coordinator on that side of the ball for Georgia, and quite a bit different personnel as well this season. Just what have you seen from that unit, Georgia's offense this year?
Yeah, even with the new coordinator, you still see a lot of similarities from Georgia offenses in the past. That's going to start there with the run game. They're going to try to be real physical at the offensive line, try to move you off the point. The running backs are, as talented a group as we've seen, and they can go 3, 4, 5 deep. So they're really strong there. The wide receivers, have a lot of talent. Number 10 can flat roll there in the slot, and number 1, a good, big-bodied wide receiver with good body control, strong hands. 7's really coming along, as a freshman. And then, the quarterback's doing a nice job. He understands, where to go with the football. He understands how to manage the game, does a nice job protecting the football. Got a couple loose in that Alabama game, but, on the most part for the entire season, he's really done a nice job being efficient. So that's really sort of their calling card. Since I've been here over the last couple of years, they've been they get explosive when they have the opportunity, but it starts up front. They want to run that football, and we've got to do a good job of trying to limit that. And then when they do throw the ball downfield, we've got to try to, affect the QB so he doesn't have all day to throw to some of those guys, on some of their deeper routes.
Josh Moore,
Brad, I know you don't ever want a guy in the secondary having as many tackles as Yusuf did, but he still had them, and just and made a big play there to kind of get you guys, a chance to have there. I think it was in the third quarter, early fourth, but just what's he done for you guys in that secondary to just bring that unit along?
Well, Yusuf's a guy that, week in and week out, exactly what you're going to get. And he shows up, he punches the clock. He's a really good, solid tackler. So, you make the point that you don't, want your secondary guys making that many tackles going into the game. I kind of knew he'd be up there in number, maybe not up to the 18 number, but, we were going to have him, be a box fitter against that zone team so he could come from the top, so if we popped a gap or we missed it, he could clean it up. And so it's a real luxury, for a coordinator to have a guy back there like that, he can basically be an eraser for you. But you also have to be smart with it too, because, to put him, into situations where he has to do that, down in and down out. Now he's rugged, he's tough, he's smart. Obviously, we talked about it last year, what a big breakout season he had, and he's just continued that this year.
okay, last two right here, as we do have both players here. So we'll go with Dr. Wong next.
Brad, we've all heard Coach Saban said that in this day and age, good defense, a good offense is going to beat a good defense. As a defensive coordinator, I mean, surely you don't believe that, do you? What goes through your mind when you hear something like that?
You know what? It's just it's a statement. Obviously, as a defensive coach, you like to think that you can rise to any challenge. Offenses are more explosive these days. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of matchup issues that they can create, but we like to think that we can create some matchup issues of our own. So it's a good give and take. I don't know. They used to say that in baseball too. A good pitcher will beat a good batter, but I think it ebbs and flows. We just know that you go against an explosive offense, you're gonna have quite a challenge on the day. But we're gonna rise to that challenge, and hopefully our good defense plays better.
Okay, last one, Nick Roush.
Roundtree got a lot of real aggravating yards. How do you get your defense up to go up against another bell cow running back that Georgia's going to bring on Saturday?
I don't think you have to do much to get them up. I think our guys they're ready. It's not just aggravating for people watching, off the field. It's aggravating for the guys on it. We know we've got to do better in terms of gang tackling. The scheme, that Missouri ran last week a little bit, that outside zone scheme, and we'll see it again with Georgia this week at times, leaves you with some one-on-one blocks, and they're more profile tackles than they are straight up, squared up tackles. If you're a little bit more inside zone, you can square a guy up, run your feet, trying to come off a block on an angle profile. A big, strong back has a chance to gain for another one or gain two. It creates some loose gaps in there if you're a D lineman, and you're trying to stay, have some gap integrity. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes the ball coming downhill off of 3 steps. So, those schemes can create problems. It also can, you can have some negative plays. I thought our guys did some nice jobs there at times creating negative plays and putting us in situations to get off the field on 3rd down. And that's where we faltered on Saturday. We've got to be better when those opportunities arise this Saturday. We've got to capitalize. We got a chance to get off on 3rd. We've got to do it.